Good morning everyone, it's Fiona from the Facebook page Angelic Inspiration, and here we are for part 4 of Angel News. I hope you've all been well since the last instalment. So here in England it's been a bit cold and now the sun is out and it's getting a little bit warmer, and having the sun out kind of makes you feel happy inside anyway. It makes you look at all the colours outside and the vibrant flowers that are starting to appear in late winter. I don't know, I know that some parts of the world have got summer, and you're all enjoying the heat, but here no such luck yet. But then we've been really lucky because winter didn't start until January really, because we've had warmish weather. So for me it's time to spring clean, getting ready for spring, going it room by room. I spoke to Archangel Jophiel and I got the message back, and she told me to take each room at a time. So slowly, corner to corner, work through the kitchen, then corner to corner, work through the living room, and have boxes for rubbish, boxes for things that I don't know what to do with, and boxes for things that I want to give away. And hopefully this attempt of my many, it will work. And keep lists of things that you want to buy new for each room, and things that you have moved to different rooms in case you're scatty and don't remember. Just write down what you're going to do, and where you're going to put things, and that will make things a whole lot easier. And have a little timetable, how many hours or how many minutes do you want to spend on each room. And with that, I'm now going to go into reading some cards. So I'm going to use Tony Carmine Salerno's Universal Wisdom Oracle cards. Bear with me while I pull some. I'm going to hold them up to my chest. Take a deep breath, exhale and feel for when I'm ready. Then I'm going to shuffle them, although you don't have to shuffle the deck, you can just pull a card randomly if that's how you like to do it. And then now I feel ready, I'm going to stop and hold my hand over the cards and just guide them until they stop, and then pull a card. You don't have to do it that way either. You can take one from the top, from the bottom, or randomly from the middle. And the card that I've pulled here is Purity. Now it's a pretty card with a lilac-y purple pinky colour and butterflies on it. And then it goes into a brown colour. There's a brown beautiful woman with a beautiful shape on the card, and she's got no clothes on, but she's surrounded by white light, and her centre is glowing white. And there's stars and a moon and everything, and it just feels very pure and loving. So, purity. At the heart of every being dwells infinite wisdom and love. However, the purity of our wisdom is often clouded and distorted as we grow older. As a newborn baby enters this life, it feels only oneness. It does not feel separate to the world, but part of it. This feeling of oneness stems from the fact that at a soul level, all is one. As your soul incarnated into the physical world, you had an awareness of self, but you were also aware that you are part of everything else around you. In the very early stages of life, this feeling of oneness prevails. However, as the duality of the physical world takes hold, the feeling of oneness fades and becomes a distant memory that we subconsciously crave for the rest of our lives. It is essentially a yearning to reconnect with the pure essence of our soul. This card is here to remind you that you are in essence, a spiritual being, and that it is time to reconnect to the infinite peace. My cat is hunting in the living room, if you can hear him. Jophiel, stop that. Anyway, I don't think he's going to listen. If you have been struggling, hold on, let me read that again. This card here is to remind you that you are in essence a spiritual being, and that it is time to reconnect to the infinite peace, love and wisdom you hold within you. If you have been struggling to find a sense of fulfillment or purpose in life, remember that which you seek cannot be found in the material world. It can only be found by looking within. Set aside some time each day for prayer and meditation. Open your heart and you will rediscover the purity of being, which has the capacity to transform your life. So it's looking within. If you've been around the world, if you've met many people and done a lot of things, and you're still not feeling quite that happiness that you feel would make you complete, then it's time to introspect. Take a look inside and feel for what serves you and what doesn't serve you, what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, what makes you feel part of a team, or are you in fact a team player, or are you more someone who likes to venture out into groups and then go back into hiding? Is that something that makes you happy? What makes you happy? If you are not sure, take a few moments, breathe, grab a notepad and pen and write down the question, what makes me happy? And then answer it. And since you're only answering to yourself, you can be honest. I mean, being honest is very important, but a lot of the time when communicating with other people, especially if we're a little bit fearful or shy, or we've been knocked down for being ourselves in previous occasions, it's very hard to be ourselves again then. So be honest with yourself. On that piece of paper, write down who you are and what makes you happy, and then speak to the angels, speak to heaven, speak to God, speak to Buddha, speak to whoever it is or whatever it is that you believe in. And the angels are showing me that walking in nature, looking at flowers, looking at the beauty, going outside and taking your shoes off and your socks off and just connecting the feet to the earth as it should be, and just taking a few moments to breathe in and connect, and you will feel that connection. And then take that connection and take it back to pen to paper and write down what you picked up during that connection, if that makes sense to you, and if you are able to. Don't feel silly. If you watch the film Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts gets Richard Gere to take his socks off and his shoes off and walk barefooted, and it's really important to do that sometimes. And even if you're just by the beach or by a river or something, just do that, or touch a tree. You know, Rebecca, if she's listening, she'll love this, to touch a tree, because she loves being around trees and connecting to trees. And it's really important, it really is, to go back to the basics. I'm now going to pull a card from the Healing Angel cards by Tony Carmine Solero. As you can tell, I'm still on that trip. So I'm just holding my fingers across the cards and just feeling to stop and pull the card out. And I pulled this one yesterday. Archangel Sandalphon, I have heard your call for help and your prayer will soon be answered. So connect to him. If you're a musician or a writer or somebody who's artistic, connect to this angel as well, because he's very good at helping people who are working with music, and he'll help you out. And the colours, light blue, turquoise, are the colours that I associate with him. And a lot of people would say that I have a lot of musical friends, and I'd be inclined now to agree. Another card here is Sacred Space. We, your guardian angels, surround you with emerald, gold, and rose pink light. Surrender your concerns and worries and enter this space of love and healing. Now, if you're having a hard time at the moment with yourself or other people, then I recommend that you go into your sacred space and reconnect here, and bring in the self-love, the self-respect, the self-appreciation. All of those things are so important, especially when you're trying to make sense of where you're going and why you're going to that point. Now both of my cats have decided to have a little argument with each other. Guess they're connecting to the angels too. Yeah, and then I'm going to pull, not actually pull a card, I'm going to look at my Angelic Inspirations book, which is also by Toni Carmine Salerno. And I'm going to open it up randomly, and I opened it up on page 51. Positive affirmations are like colors that help you paint a beautiful picture for your life. What is it that you want to create? Be clear about it, visualize it. Imagine that your perfect picture exists right now. Believe, for you are the life you dream. So from that I take that if you are negative about not having things, not having the people, not achieving, not being, then you won't be. The more you focus on the can'ts, won'ts, don'ts and nevers, the more you keep that place in life. So what do you want? Do you want a career? Focus on having a career. Do you want to be self-employed? I'd love to do what I do here for a living. It would be great. Now that is something I'm focusing on. With Angelic Inspiration, I try and my best to be as understanding and kind and connected as possible. It's not always possible for me because I'm a human being, and I'm a grumpy one at that. So it's difficult sometimes, but I do my best, and it also catches myself on to practice what I preach and release judgments. Then, do you want money? Do you need money? Are you focusing on never having enough money, or are you focusing on having the money that you need and then some? Because it's important to, I don't think that there is a spiritual being out there that wants you to suffer or struggle. Whatever struggling and whatever suffering that you have gone through to this point, look at it, take it on board, show gratitude that you have learnt the lessons, and then focus on having enough to cover your bills, pay your food, have your clothes, do things, buy things, and support yourself. And if you have a family, support your family and build on that. If you are looking for a soulmate, now I don't like to call them soulmates, I like to call them twin flames or life partners. Now I am one of those people that believes that you have more than one of those in your lifetime, equally as a soulmate. In my humble opinion, a soulmate is of any age, sex, and comes to you and connects to you. So you can connect with someone of the same sex, you can connect to somebody who is much younger than you and feel a bond, whether they're related to you or romantically involved with you or not, and you learn from that person and that person learns from you. But some of these soulmates, and I believe we have more than one, they stay with us through an entire lifetime or not. It could be that something happens and you disconnect and reconnect once you've learned more lessons and the other person has gone off to learn new lessons, because we are constantly growing and we don't grow at the same pace, and sometimes we raise our vibration or the other person raises their vibration so high that they no longer resonate with us, and so there is a split. And then when it's time, if there is time to reconnect, we do reconnect. That doesn't mean that from time to time you don't pop into each other's lives and check each other out, but you will always get a new soulmate. Once you've learned whatever lesson that it is that you needed to learn, you will connect to somebody else. That does not lessen the experience that you had with the one prior to the one coming in, or the ones coming in. Now a twin flame, in my opinion, works similar, only that it is a love relationship, and it is sexual, and it is all that you'd hoped for. And sometimes it's just for a short period of time, sometimes it lasts longer, and sometimes it takes you through to the end of your life. It all depends on the lessons that you're learning, what you've asked for, and how ready you are to receive what the other person is giving, and vice versa. I know we put a lot of emphasis on ourselves, but we must remember that the other person has feelings and a journey too. So this card basically says, have you lost sight of what is really important? Remember a time when life was simpler and the world seemed like a giant playground just waiting to be explored. Perhaps it's time to rediscover that world together. So reconnecting to your inner child. Now, I think that's an important thing that we all need to do, is be more childish and be more silly and do silly things and create a great big laugh. And I know a lot of people, including myself, sometimes find that hard. And I have a son, as some of you may know, and I'm quite stern sometimes, and think, oh my God, why are you doing that? And I've caught myself on more recently where I've joined in and been just silly with him, and how much fun that is and how releasing that is to not try and be the responsible one all the time and just go with it. It's fun. And me and my son, we have a great friendship and a great relationship, and I hope that that continues throughout his entire life. And if it doesn't, at least I know that he'll look back, and even though Mummy's told him off quite a few times, he will remember the times that we've had so much fun together and laughed so much we had tears rolling down our faces. So just remember that it's connecting to your inner child and connecting to who you are. And me and my son, we put the parlor tones on and we dance around the living room like lunatics. We're like, woohoo! And quite recently, when I've sung a song and he's finished singing it for me, and I'm like, oh my God, you are a Parletonian, and it's fun. Have you noticed that with your own children or cousins or nieces and nephews, grandchildren? Embrace them, enjoy them, they're fun. And there are times where they're not so fun, but that's part of us being the adults. And then here, you, my beloved, are like a ray of golden sunshine. I breathe in your love, and all my concerns melt away, and all that is left is pure joy. Thank you, my beloved soulmate. So if you have a soulmate, that's what you should be thinking about your soulmate and breathing it in. And if you don't, and again, for me, it's a twin flame, then that's what you want from your soulmate. So remember, regardless of what it said on that card, what do you actually want from your twin flame? Do you want them to be around all the time? See, for me, that would be a killer. I couldn't cope with somebody who's around me all of the time because I need my space. So I'd need someone who goes away and comes back. Not goes away forever and ever and months on end, but somebody who goes away for short periods of time and comes back, but keeps the contact and connection going. If you're somebody who needs somebody around you all of the time and needs to be called and texted throughout the day all the time, that's somebody you need to manifest into your life, because not everybody is like that, especially if you're a female looking for a male who's like that. And also remember that people bring baggage with them depending how old you are. Now, if you're in your mid-30s upwards, even mid-20s, there's people who have been in relationships and have been damaged by these relationships. And also, I've got this, a lot of people have this idea that people are easily replaced, you know, because you watch television and people just, you know, hop from one relationship to another and not much damage is taken with them. It's not true. So you can call on the healing angels and Archangel Raphael and ask them to clear your chakras, clear your emotional zones. Ask Archangel Zadkiel to help with that, to transmute. Now, whilst you're going through that, it might be difficult. You might feel emotional, you might feel negative, you might feel angry, you might feel exhausted, but it's just clearing away old patterns and old habits and ways of being, and just releasing to new ways and new ways of existing, and clearing boundaries that you've set yourself. Now, boundaries also are quite stifling in a way, because you set a clear limit to yourself. I won't have this, that, and that. But what about thinking that maybe those things that you won't have are exactly those things that you need? Now, knowing myself that I'm a freedom lover, I know that having someone around me all of the time is just not going to help me, because I'd get very cross. I'd feel suppressed and caged. Having a little bit of freedom to do my own thing, I like that. I like the idea of being able to call up my friend Becky and say, let's go for a coffee or something. Although I don't drink coffee, I still call it going for a coffee. Or I don't know, if you're saying I don't want someone with long hair, I like short back and sides. So what if the person's got long hair or short hair, whatever? It doesn't take away from who they are inside. and maybe that person with the long hair is exactly the person that does resonate with you. Or if you say, you know, I don't like tattoos are bad and ugly, they're not bad and ugly. They're something personal to the person, and maybe ask them what the tattoos are about, and then maybe take on board the answer. Communication is very, very important. So defining what you want, but also leaving some doors open for yourself with that soulmate twin flame connection, because you might have something to learn and they might have something to learn. And knowing that we all have flaws, but falling in love with someone is about accepting the flaws and accepting the differences. And the other thing that I had is synchronicity last week, which I wanted to talk about. Synchronicity is quite important because when you ask for something or you're on the right path, you'll notice synchronized events. Now, I have Rebecca and I have Laura who helped me on my page with quotes. And what's fun about that is that I posted some quotes on my page the other day, and I got a message from Rebecca saying, hey, how did you know I was going to post that, or quotes thief or something, she said. And she'd set aside the exact same quotes that I'd set aside, and I thought, oh, weird. And then I got a message on my BlackBerry from Laura, and Laura said, wow, how did you know? Or thank you for posting that song, because it was in my head all day and I didn't, or all morning, and I didn't know what it was called, and then you posted it. So we were all on the same wavelength that day, or the two women were on the same wave as me. And then there was something else that the three of us had in common, which was also very bizarre because it doesn't really happen in that way. And that was quite interesting. And then another thing which I'd like to just mention is signs. Now, the sign that I was given, a DVD by a lady, and it was The Secret Life of Bees. And I said, oh, thank you so much. Well, she gave me a bundle of DVDs, but that was the one that I commented on. It's, thank you so much. I really wanted to see this film. And I was thinking to myself, what made you say that? I mean, I'd heard of the film, but I'd never really thought about how badly I wanted to see it. Anyway, so I said, you know, I really wanted to see this film, Secret Life of Bees. And then after a few days, I put it in the DVD player. I thought, I better watch this DVD. And it was very half-hearted of me. I even had my back to the screen and thought I'd listen in and do something else whilst... and I was thinking, okay, I'm not getting anything from this film at all. Then what happened? Then I woke up in the morning and my son put the TV on, and a little character from a children's program said, Secret Life of Bees. And I was like, what? I thought, okay, that's weird, because it's not something you hear every day. Then we went to a charity shop, and I never ever look at books, but I was looking at books and DVDs. And then we went to another one, and as we were walking out, I looked at the book rack, and what was looking at me was The Secret Life of Bees. And I was like, wow, very weird. So obviously I bought the book, and then in that evening I was on a forum reading up about something, and there was a screen name, The Secret Life of Bees. Now, by this point, you've got to admit that that's a lot of Secret Life of Bees in the space of 48 hours. And so I thought, right, you've got to read that book. So I started reading the book, and then in the afternoon I watched a daytime program online to catch up, and the storyline was about a beekeeper and the bees and the queen bee and everything. And I was like, wow, now really I must read this book and must find out. And the message that I've got so far is about the queen bee, and the bees need a queen bee to keep in line, to keep going, to keep focus. And obviously I've got to read more, and I'm not quite sure what that means for me, but amazing how, you know, when they give you a sign and you don't quite get it, they will keep giving you a sign until you get it. And so hopefully maybe next week I'll know what the sign is. And I also like to say that my beautiful cat Dutchie had done a runner for 2 whole weeks in the midst of the winter. She'd run off, and I'd given up hope that she was ever coming back. And she's run off so many times now that I've gotten used to her not being here for long periods of time. But this time I was like, okay, so we need to either find her. And that day I had this feeling that she was where we found her last time, by the vets. And even my son was quite weird, because he went outside and he said, "Mummy, I'm going to go and look by the bush to see if Dutchie's there." And I said, "Oh, can you feel her coming home today?" He said, "I don't know. I just think I want to have a look." And I had this feeling, and I said, "Archangel Ariel, please make Dutchie safe." And then we went for a walk, and I said to my son, as we were walking up to the vets, I saw this black cat shooting past, and I was like, "Baby, that's Dutchie." And then the cat crossed the road, and she looked at us, and I was like, "That is our cat." And we were really excited. And she crossed the road, and she stopped outside the vets and sat down. And my son went up to her, and she just waited for him to pick her up, and we brought her home. And that was so weird, because I had that feeling and he had that feeling, and there she was. And I've kept her in all week, but yesterday I let her out, and she sat outside and waited for us to pick her up and bring her back in again. And this morning I let her out again, and she's gone out and she's come back in again. But we keep going through this phase with her. She's obviously got a thing where she needs to, like me, needs her freedom, and likes to come back when she's ready, or when it's time to come back. I suppose any other cat owner that's got any similar experiences with their cats, please let me know. Right, now I just quickly, before I bore you all to tears, I like to pull a card from the Pocket Full of Angels Oracle Cards deck. I'm going to say, what does angelic inspiration, the page, need to know this week? Okay, let's see. Angel thoughts. Are you finding yourself having random, unexplained ideas and thoughts lately? These are angelic communications giving you guidance towards your intended path of contentment. Your angels are steering you through your instinct, your inner knowingness. So please take some time out to assimilate your thoughts, listen to your inner voice, and follow their loving guidance, and you will be glad that you did. Okay. I'm going to pull two more. The next one is aim higher. Are you unhappy with the situation you are in at present? Your angels want you to believe that you deserve the best, and that so much more could be possible for you. Please don't be held back by your own self-limitations, lack of self-worth, and fear of change. Do not allow anyone else to make you feel that you cannot do better. You can. Now that's an important one, because I think a lot of people are sitting around in relationships, or sitting around thinking, I don't deserve. You do deserve. There is no God, angel out there that doesn't believe that you don't deserve. You do deserve. And an important thing is, whoever it is that you believe in, they don't judge. People judge. They do. Every single person, apart from those I believe that are ready to ascend into angeldom or whatever, people judge, but angels don't judge. All those things that you believe in that make you feel good, they don't judge you, no matter what you've done. And I really believe that is no matter what you've done, because they only see love, and humans are the ones that distort that. And it's understandable, because some people have done some very terrible things, but angels, God, the divine, the creator, whoever, they do not judge you. They love you, all of us, and me as well. The next card is stop worrying. The angels don't worry about you. They simply believe in your strengths and abilities, and ask that you do the same about both yourself and other people too. Take a step back and ask the angels to take care of you, the person and situation you are worrying about, and then resolve to turn your mind to other stress-free thoughts and activities. Think and act with a positive outlook, and believe that the angels will look after everything for you, and enjoy the renewed inner calm those actions will bring. Okay, so worry doesn't help. It really doesn't. And so stop worrying. Focus on having everything that you need, and anything that you haven't got that you need will come to you. It really, really will. And that's a promise. You just believe in it. And then I've pulled one more, and this is for me, and I'm going to share it with you guys, because I'm not selfish like that. And the card is make magic moments. A romantic or thoughtful gesture will soon make you smile and fill your heart with joy. Savor and enjoy the moment, for although it may last for just a few minutes or even seconds, it will stay with you, giving you feelings of warmth and happiness for a very long time to come. So just remember that for the rest of the week. Magic moments, good things are coming. They will come. Angels don't set a time limit, so if you want it by May, ask for it by May or June, or imagine a summer romance would be nice, or a summer holiday in the autumn, or enough money to pay off your credit cards or debt or whatever, a new job by August maybe, someone to notice your potential and say, hey, you know what, I've got something for you, bring it on. Okay, so with that, have a beautiful weekend, and remember, when you're feeling down, there's no need to feel down. There's always something to feel up about. And even if you're worried about somebody that you've lost and loved, or somebody on the other side, don't worry about them. They don't want you to worry about them. They're fine, they're happy, and they're feeling good. And they try and communicate to you that they want you to be happy. So really don't let the loss of a loved one hold you back. Remember the good times, and really remember, they don't want you to be sad, and they don't want you to be alone, and they want you to be happy. They want you to be as happy as you can, even though they're not physically with you to share that with you. And they will try and guide you, and the angels will try and guide you to the people that need to be with you, and for you to feel good. And don't feel bad about feeling good, because that's what they want you to feel good. Okay, so till next week, have a good day. Bye.